So yes, so we're how to learn Century Spice Road, which is part of a trilogy of games. Century Spice Road, Century Eastern Wonders, and Century New World. That could be played separately or together. So the first game that I'm going to teach you is Century Spice Road. Like I say, this is a quick quick learn to how to play. It's a fairly mid-standard game. If you're expecting slip cameras and sticking stuff together, that's not going to happen. I mean, it looks okay. It's laid out all right. But it'll be a quick how to play and what you do. So, what is Century Spice Road? What kind of game is it? It's a mixture of games. It's a mixture of a deck building game, so you're trying to build a better hand that you can play cards with, and then you're trading, using those cards to trade spices. Thank you, JP, on it. How to trade those spices to buy cards to then ultimately have enough points or have more points than the other players at the end of the game. So, setup. Let's go over the setup so you can see how you should set up the game. I have handily set it all up ready for you, which is very handy. So, what are the components? What have you got? How does that work? So, cards along the top. These are the cards that you are trying to buy. So, what does it call them in the game? It calls them caravan cards. No, that's your caravan card. Oh, point value of the card, and underneath is what you need in order to buy that card in spices. These are the cards that you can buy into your hand. So there's 6 of those laid out, left to right, and on the card is what action the card does. So again, I'll go through that. There's only 2 actions that cards can do. I'll go through those. Then this, every player gets a caravan. So you might not be able to see it on there, but on the caravan there's 10 little spots, 10 little markers. So you can only carry 10 spices, which are these little tokens. Put those there. Above the far left point card, you've got gold tokens, and the second one you've got silver tokens. I'll explain what those do in a minute. And they don't all go out. There's a number depending on how many players you've got or how many of those tokens are out. So, what is the game and how do you play it? You have a starting hand of 2 cards, and you've got several options you can do on your turn. So what can you do on your turn? You can play a card. So once you've played a card, you put it down, so you can't play it again until you get it back. Another thing you can do on your turn is you can buy another card to put straight into your hand. How do you buy a card, he says? Well, working from left to right. So if you want to buy the left-hand card, that is free, doesn't cost you anything. You just pick it up, put it in your hand, move everything down, put another card out. That's how you buy. If you see a card that's further down the list that you like the look of, then you have to pay for that card. How do you pay for a card? So you pay for a card with the spices that you have in your caravan. So if you'd want to buy the 3rd card down, you have to put a spice on every card from left to right before that card. So you put one there, and take that card. And again, you move those down, turn one over. The card you buy goes directly into your hand. And those stay on there until somebody buys those cards. So that can have an accumulation of spices on that for you. More spices can go on there, so another player might want a card down here on their go, so they'll put more spices on and the spices gather. Basically what that is, it's just it makes those cards more desirable, so they're not stuck, so nobody ever picks them, because if they're not cards that anybody's really wanting, but they might just want the spices. That's another thing you can do. So you can play a card, you can buy a card, you can also trade in your spices to get a point card. So the spices that you need are listed underneath. So if you have the spices that you need, you basically take them out of your caravan, put them back into this general supply here, take the card, and again, like you did with the points cards, shift them left. So if, for instance, I bought this card, I go there, I put another card out. That's another thing you can do on your turn. What the coins represent is if you buy the first or second card, you get the coin as well, which are worth points at the end of the game. If I remember rightly, I think every gold coin is worth 3 points, and every silver coin is worth 1 point. I could check that, because I have got the rules right here, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, let's just say it's that for now. C. Yeah, we'll say it is. Say that. 3 and 1. Sounds right. So yeah, that's another thing you can do. And the last action you can do on your turn. So you've got play a card. So play a card from your hand. Where's the starting card? So you can play a card. There you go. Oh, there's your starting cards. You can play a card. You can buy a card, or you can trade in your spices to get a point card. Last thing you can do is you can pick up the cards that you've already played. So once you've played a card, it comes out of your hand and goes to the side. And then then it'll be somebody else's go. You keep going. You might want to play your other card. Keep going. And then you might not have any cards in your hand, or there might be a card you've already played that you want back. So on your turn, you'd pick them up. But that's the only action you can do. You can't then play another card. So you just pick them up. Done. So they're the actions. So what are these? These are all the different spices. So the different spices you've got, just for thematic reasons, you've got cinnamon, you've got cardamom, you've got saffron, and you've got turmeric. And they're spaced in value. So yellow is the most common, brown is the rarest. So when you're buying cards, you'll see that if it's got a lot of brown on it, it'll be worth most points. If it's got a lot of yellow, it might be worth a bit less because they're harder to come by. So what happens when you play a card out of your hand? There are two types of cards. There's three types of cards really. I'll say there's two, there's three. So you've got one there. If it's just got coloured blocks on it and nothing else, it means you gain that resource. So you just get those two spices, put them straight in your caravan, and that's it. You have got exchanges. So if you've got a number of spices and an arrow and a different spice, that's basically you trade 3 yellow for 1 brown, or whatever it might be on the other cards. The last one is upgrading. So that's upgrading spices. So with that, you can use it. It might have 2 on there, it might have 1, it might have 3. Your starter hand starts with 2. And what that means is you can upgrade spices that are in your caravan. So if these 2 spices were in my caravan and I played said card, I can upgrade twice. That means upgrade to the next spice in value. So I can either upgrade both the yellows, so I've got 2 upgrade actions. I could upgrade both of those to 2 red and put them in my caravan. Or I could upgrade 1 twice. I could upgrade it to green. So it's 2 upgrade actions. They don't have to be done on separate spices. They can be done on the same. So I could upgrade the yellow twice or upgrade 2 yellows once. That's that. And then again, they go into your caravan. You can only carry 10 spices. Any spices that you've got that are extra, you put them back into general supply. And that is pretty much the basis of the game. It's fairly simple, fairly quick to learn, quick to play. The first couple of times you play it, you'll be going, all right, I don't know, do I want to play that? But then you'll be starting knowing, and it goes really quickly because the actions are fairly quick. There's not a lot to do in your action. You either play a card, trade some spice, buy a card. That's about it. Or pick your hand back up. So it does go quite quickly. The game ends depending on how many people are playing, but the game ends when a certain number of points cards have been bought. So finish the caravan. So, a 2 to 3 player game, it's fifth, and anymore it's sixth. So as soon as somebody's bought the fifth card, you can finish that round of play, so whoever the starting player, and then you total up your points. So it did say here what it was. Tokens. Yeah, gold is worth 3. I was right. Gold is worth 3, silver is worth 1. So you total up the points. So just because you've triggered the end of the game doesn't mean you'll win, because somebody might have had some more valuable points on there. And that is pretty much how you play Century Spice Road. Like I say, it's a quick deck building kind of game. The strategy comes in when you see what other people are trying to go for in the point cards, and then you play cards and you get to it before them. And it's combining your cards, so you've got the right cards to first of all get the spices, and then upgrade the spices, and then maybe upgrade the spices again to get those. So it's getting a nice chain going, so you can get the things that you want. That is it. Fairly quick how to play, I know, but it is a fairly quick game to play. I like the games that only take 5 minutes to learn to play, because they're very easy to teach in the cafe, and hopefully very easy to teach you. That is it. I wish there was more to say, but there really isn't. So if you're interested, you could possibly win this game. How do I win this game? You win this game by entering the weekly prize draw, which is if you go to www.thepeoplesmeeple.com, and there's a little placard there with Game Shop on it. Click on there, and that'll take you to our retail section where you can buy tickets and other board games and things like that. That is it. That's how you do it. The raffle for this week has Century Spice Road. I always had Century Eastern Wonder and Century New World, and I'll be doing a few how to play videos on those. They're a little bit more complex than this, but again, only takes maybe 5-10 minutes to teach you how to play it. So that's it. And it feels a bit too short, but that's the game. So I'll just go back to me. So if you have any questions about how to play, or there's anything that you want to see how to play, then just drop me a message, and I shall try and get it to the table to show you how to play it if I've got it in the library. So yes, if you could please like and share and all the shebangs that you do with these videos, that'd be great, to raise awareness of the raffle and the cafe and the great games that people don't know exist but are out there. Because if you are watching this, you probably know a little bit about games, or you've met me and I've witted onto you about how great games are, and I think we should share the love. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and I shall look forward to seeing you in a couple of days' time with another how to learn video, and we shall be learning how to play Eastern Wonder, which is the next game in this Century trilogy, as it were. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye.